The acceleration and deepening of human education has three forces, converging, all technological, but all driven by our human love of learning as a means to attain a sense of control and mastery in our lives. We believe that it's technology married with humanities that yields the result that makes the heart sing. The three forces are the online course, the online constellation of content of a course, and creative presentation of the content of a course that makes the heart sing, designed to make the learning lovable. Force number one, the online course. Take an online course and you easily can share the mind of the teacher, the minds of the classmates, and you can work at home or on the go, all affordably. Force number two, the online content universe. Put your class's content on the web. Call it a content constellation with a home site of teacher-curated content. Call this home site the mothership of a constellation of web content. Now, what kind of course content is this? Not just digitized books and articles, text, videos, audio, visuals, graphics that are reached easily from the mothership via links. As a seeming infinity of pathways to and from the mothership, the learner uses links to appease questions and curiosity. Each answered question reveals more underlying new questions, and thus flows the golden stream of learning provided by the constellation of content. Learning is not the product of teaching. Learning is the product of the activity of learners, wrote John Holt, author and educator. You learn when your just ignited fire of interest quickly gets the wanted kindling of relevant knowledge and facts. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Once wrote William Butler Yeats, the great Irish poet. Well, sort of. It's more like the more you fill the pail with facts and knowledge, the more curiosity is satisfied and the more fired up is learning. A good teacher is the revered arsonist to our learning. Okay, in sum, add to the advantages of online course taking the newer concept of having online a course's content on a discrete website with references, curated content, and links reaching across the web to much more curated and course-related content. Force number three. Presentation lights the fire. But the third force we can have enables you to make learning lovable through the artful use of techie tools of presentation. As Johnny Ive of Apple once wrote, as you bring order to complexity, you find a way to make the product, in our case, learning or knowledge, you find a way to make knowledge and learning defer to you in presentation. To be truly simple, you have to go really deep into the complexity of the content. And that's where the satisfaction and happiness begins. To repeat what Steve Jobs wrote in his book, we believe that it's technology married with humanities that yields the result that makes the heart sing. What does this mean? Do you remember a website that was well-designed, intuitive, and simple to use, satisfying? compared to a website that was not well designed, confusing, and soon to be abandoned? Look at this map. Is it clear? Is it intuitive? Or is it a pile of jangled yarn? Why not instead create a time-sequenced series of maps with each illustrating a single action-reaction event, separate and clear? Take Stephen Jobs and Johnny Ive's approach to the design of product and apply it to knowledge. Present knowledge in such a way that it gives the learner a sense of control over their learning with continually refired interest. How? By activating and appealing to all possible brain centers of cognition, not just the brain centers for decoding text. Text alone needs much decoding first. Use images to appeal to sight, video to appeal to experience, audio to appeal to sound cognition, and text to appeal to left brain type cognition centers. In other words, appealing to many types of inborn cognition is a more complete learning, reaching every type of learner's lead sense of cognition. ADA compliance. To successfully design a presentation to make content appealing to many types of learners, we need to remind ourselves that a web-based content center is not a book. And how ADA compliant is a book anyway? Think of Alexander Graham Bell and his telephone, which when first presented was wrongly seen as only a so-so backup machine for the telegraph. Similarly, web-based content is not ancillary to the time-honored model of the book. Web-based course content changes the entire equation of learning beyond the text-dominant and text-exclusive book model. Books, which we will always love anyway, are constrained by production costs that rule out 2,000-page books, can't easily put illustrative images to where they best belong within the text, can't link words in the text of the book to knowledge worlds beyond the book. Put another way, a book in its design cannot allow lengthy pursuits of tangential interests. The pursuit of knowledge within a well-curated, organized website or educational platform, as it were, is highly satisfying to the learner, who learns to love learning and become the very best learning outcome. What is that outcome? It is the self-teaching, lifelong learner and self-starting problem solver who is also a leader. And this was possible because we made learning lovable.